கடல் தாண்டி செல்வம் சுமந்தார், கலை கடந்தும் பண்பும் புனைந்தார். வணிகர் வாழ்வின் வரலாறு சொல்வோம், தமிழின் பெருமை உலகை புகழ்ந்தோம்.
Hey Jaya, what are you reading? And that too in Tamil?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, do you know to whom are these lines referring to?
Let me have a look at these lines. Oh, they are referring to the Tamil merchants. This is the 4-line Tamil verse reflecting the essence of ancient Tamil commerce and culture.
Wow, ma'am, that's wonderful.
Do you want me to translate these lines?
Sure, ma'am. I'll read out those lines. கடல் தாண்டி செல்வம் சுமந்தார்,
They crossed the seas, bearing wealth untold,
கலை கடந்தும் பண்பும் புனைந்தார்.
crafts and culture in their hearts they hold.
வணிகர் வாழ்வின் வரலாறு சொல்வோம்,
Let's narrate the tale of merchants' glory.
தமிழின் பெருமை உலகை புகழ்ந்தோம்.
Praising Tamil's pride is an eternal story.
These are wonderful lines, ma'am. This generation must know more about ancient Tamil commerce and culture. Ma'am, I'll think about a plan and get back to you. Welcome to JSB podcast. Myself Jayashree, a second-year student, and I am here along with Dr. Devi Premnath, Professor JSB. Ma'am, I do have a lot of questions. I'll trouble you for the next 10 minutes.
Oh, not at all, Jaya. It's my pleasure and pride to share and discuss the rich heritage of Tamil culture and commerce.
Ma'am, the 4-line verse is so powerful and interesting. Does these lines belong to the Sangam literature?
The lines you shared are inspired by the themes found in Sangam literature, but are not directly from any specific Sangam text.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, the Sangam literature describes merchants as influential and cosmopolitan figures. Could you elaborate on how texts like Pattinapalai highlight their contributions to maritime trade and prosperity of port cities like Pumbuhar?
Oh, I think you have seen Ponniyin Selvam 1 and 2 and you are much enticed by the movie.
Yeah,
right,
ma'am.
Jaya? Okay. So the Sangam literature, it provides a vivid account of merchants, their trade practices, their social status. Works like Purananura, Agananura, Pattanampalai, it describes merchants as wealthy, resourceful and influential members of society. The Pattanampalai extols the Chola capital, Puhar, Kaveri Pattanam, as bustling port city where ships laden with goods arrive from distant lands, say from Rome and from Middle East, and they showcase the thriving maritime trade then.
So, in those trades, what products and commodities were traded in those days, ma'am?
Products and commodities, mainly spices like pepper, cardamom, turmeric, textiles, fine cotton, silk, Tamil Nadu's pearl fisheries and also the gemstones, it was very, very popular then. And even agriculture produce, grains, rice, fruits, were all staples of inland trade.
Wow, ma'am, the trade has been taken place from a very long time. How did the Tamil merchant community organize itself in this society, ma'am?
The Tamil merchants were highly organized and they were quite professional and disciplined. They were highly structured guilds there. Some of the popular guilds were Manigramam, Ayya Ole Ainura, Nana Desi. These guilds not only facilitated trade but also played social and cultural roles by supporting temples, resolving disputes, and funding infrastructure. Say the Uttaramerur inscription, right, near Kanjipuram records the guild's internal regulations, and it also shows the complex organizational framework of these popular guilds. And another interesting fact is that the Ayya Ole Ainura guild, Ainura means 500, so the name has come from a small village called Ayya Hole in Karnataka. So initially 500 members joined together to form this guild. So that's how the Ainura, the word is actually, it's associated with Ayya Ole. So the details of these inscriptions are not only seen in Tamil Nadu, but also in Southeast Asia, which talks about these guilds.
Wow, ma'am. Ma'am, how did the Tamil merchants maintain their cultural identity while trading internationally?
They were known for that, Jaya. Tamil merchants preserved their cultural identity through their religious practices, festivals, and even through language. They established temples and also settlements in foreign lands. And, then again, talking about the cultural identity, some inscriptions are found in Sumatra, Java, Vietnam. And one interesting fact is that in Vietnam, there is a temple dedicated to Shiva and Vishnu, which is the famous Po Nagar Cham temple in Vietnam. So these all shouts loud to the world that Tamil merchants tried their best to maintain their cultural identity and also to spread their identity across the globe.
Oh, a Shiva and Vishnu temple at Vietnam? This is so new for me to hear, ma'am. Ma'am, how do you think the festivals and rituals influence the lives of Tamil merchants?
Festivals and rituals were not just religious events. So they also served as an opportunity for social and economic interactions. In fact, these Tamil merchants, they were quite enterprising, and they found that these festivals and rituals are opportunity for them to increase their profit and to expand their trade. So merchants, they often funded these festivals, which attracted large crowds, and also they could also double their profits. Now, the Chitre festival at Madurai Meenakshi Temple was an annual event that drew traders from across the region. When I say across the region, from international traders used to come for that Chitre festival. And Sangam literature like the Madurai Kanchi describes these festivals as bustling with trade in textiles, in spices, goods, gemstones, etc.
Wow, ma'am. Ma'am, nowadays we are vocal about diversity, equity, and inclusion. If the trade has happened in a larger scale, how DEI happened then?
Tamil merchants practiced diversity, equity, inclusion in a very well way then. Even now, diversity, equity, inclusion is a buzzword, but this was well practiced and years back. They were able to uphold the social harmony in a very diverse society. They established trust and cooperation through ethical trade practices. This helped them to maintain a lot of social harmony. There are mentions in Silapadikaram where the merchants engaged very peacefully with people from different countries, like with the Greek, Arab, as well as Roman merchants. And there are also inscriptions like Muziris which talk about that. So they also established a lot of temples like Shiva and Vishnu temples, not only in in Cambodia but also in Malaysia, and I was talking about Vietnam and many other places. So these were the ways in which they were trying to bring about not only spread their cultural identity but also bring about a kind of a social harmony as well and inclusivity also.
I did not know that the DEI would have influenced this much back then.
In fact, we learn a lot of DEI from them. It's not like DEI influencing them there. So they made it as a practice. It's like in the attitude of the Tamil merchants and also the way they carried out the trade. And it's probably they would have got a wonderful education system.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, there are various temples across. What roles do you think the temples played in Tamil merchant community?
Temples were central to the Tamil merchant community as they served both spiritual and economic purposes. Merchants donated a lot of money to the temples. So temples were like storage warehouses where grains, treasures, everything used to be stored. And they were also the places where these Tamil merchants got loans for trading. And the Ayiram Kala Mandapam in the Madurai Meenakshi temple, like places like that, traders all across the globe came over there. They sat, they talked about trade, business. So it was like an, LinkedIn space. So they were networking. They used to network also in by sitting and discussing about trade in these temples. The Brihadeshwara temple in Tanjavur received significant endowments from merchants, and these are all recorded again in all the inscriptions there. And these donations funded the temple festivals, infrastructure. There was a symbiotic relationship between temples and merchants then, Jaya.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, as you were saying about Tamil merchant community, was there any business education system then?
Yeah, very, very much. Education was vital for Tamil merchants, especially they were they had a lot of foresight, and they wanted their younger generation to be really prepared for the complexities of business. So, in one way, you can say that these temples were like business schools then. So, through temples, they used to teach these young generation traders mathematics, account keeping, and languages. Many languages were taught to them. In Sri Rangam again, there is a mention that endowments for education of merchants' families were given, and these through Sri Rangam temple, they made sure that the children were taught mathematics and also different kinds of languages so that they could engage very well in both local and international trade.
So the temples provided such a base for an education.
Yeah, true.
Ma'am, the final question. What do you think the modern business leaders learn from the community practices of Tamil merchants?
Tamil merchants, as I told you, they were very professional, disciplined, and they emphasized a lot on ethical practices, cultural preservation, community welfare. I think these are all timeless lessons which modern leaders can emulate. And also the way they created a sustainable environment then. So these are some of the learnings that we can take from Tamil merchant communities. The Manigramam Guild, for that matter, they used to set aside huge portions of their profit, Jaya, to build water tanks, rest houses, and it was such a breather for many people. So even then, at those say centuries ago, they used to practice corporate social responsibilities. So these are wonderful learnings that we can, learn and imbibe and emulate from these Tamil merchants.
That was great, actually, ma'am. I had a lot of learnings today. I felt like I was taken in a time machine and you really took me back in time. The Tamil merchant's legacy showcases the harmony of commerce and culture, emphasizing ethical trade, community welfare, and resilience. The timeless values inspire modern business leaders towards sustainable practices. Let us honor their journey and embrace their vision of a connected and harmonious world.
Thank you, Jaya. Your questions were really wonderful. I hope that the modern generation would be able to carry forward the profound lessons from the Tamil merchants' legacy. Their seamless blend of commerce, culture, rooted in ethics, community welfare, serves as a guiding light for business today. May their vision inspire us to build a world where trade fosters connection, harmony, and shared prosperity. And thank you very much, Jaya. And hopefully, future will celebrate the timeless journey of these Tamil merchants. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.